So this is where we left off yesterday. I know we did this slide, but we kind of went through it kind of quickly. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable with all of these numbers and the types of accounts and credit, debit, all of that fun stuff. So any questions on that before
I think I'm good on it.
Okay. Perfect. And I have some more examples of those types of things, so we'll go through that. Okay, so if we're going to answer steps 1 through 6 based on the following statement, at the end of a biweekly pay period, a company withholds $200 for child support payments. And then for steps 7 through 12, based on the following statement, the company pays the withheld child support of $200. So we're going to record each transaction in a table. So wages payable would be what kind of account?
Expense? No, liability.
Very good. Debit or credit?
Credit. Debit.
And then we're going to debit the wages payable, and then we're going to credit the child support payable.
Right. So here's the problem.
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking at what you were trying to achieve. So typically it's credit balance.
Yeah. All right. So that's when we record the transaction for the withheld child support. That's what it's going to look like. And then when we pay the child support, again, we're going to take that liability account that now has a credit balance, and we need to debit that. And then we need to credit cash, which is an asset, and a credit to asset decreases. So a credit to cash will decrease cash, which if we write a check to child support, we need to decrease our cash. So that should be good. Questions? I know the accounting stuff can be daunting. Which type of organizations are required to have an external audit? Any ideas?
No, because I always feel like everybody should, but I don't know what, I can never remember which ones are required.
It's publicly held. Which of the following journal entries is posted as a debit? So if we have a $5,000 paycheck that's posted to a cash account, an $8,000 manual check posted to an asset account, $1,000 state income tax withheld posted to the liability account, or $250,000 gross payroll posted to an expense account.
State income tax.
If we're posting to a liability account, what would a debit do? Would it increase or decrease? A debit to a liability would decrease. A debit to an expense would increase. A debit to an asset would increase. So in this case, $250,000 gross payroll posted to an expense account would be the right answer, because that would increase the expense. So it would be a debit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Which of the
I don't
following?
know if you could hear Chastity answering in the background a little.
Oh, I could not.
It was a little quiet, so I just wanted to make sure.
Maybe I'll turn my volume up. Which of the following items is a liability? Purchase of computer supplies, taxes withheld but not yet deposited, company cost of employee benefit programs, or salaries paid to employees. Again, we're looking for a liability.
Cost of employee benefit program. Somebody said cost of employee benefits.
Oh, it's actually going to be taxes withheld, but not yet deposited. Now, speaking to the cost of employee benefits, you could think of that as, that an entry for employee benefits could have two sides to it. It could have an expense side and it could have a liability side. So for example, for company paid health insurance, there's an expense side when the cost is incurred, but there's also a liability side when you receive the, so you put that money into a liability account, and then when you receive the invoice from your health insurance company, then you will debit the liability and credit cash when you pay that amount. So that can be confusing. Of the following accounts, which would most likely be listed first on a balance sheet? These are those fancy accounting questions, and I do not have an accounting degree, but it would be marketable securities.
Thank you, because I would have had that wrong.
All right, so question number one, an employee is providing a parking space on the employee's premises. The fair market value of the space is $200. This is referred to as A, a de minimis fringe benefit, B, qualified transportation fringe benefit, C, no additional cost fringe benefit, or D, qualified employee discount.
Qualified transportation fringe.
Good job. Agree. What's the limit on that one?
Isn't it 200 for 2020?
Isn't it 270 a month?
Oh, maybe 280. I don't know. I'm gonna look.
270. I thought it was 270.
Let's look. Maybe it is 270. Good job. I'm like, why would they use 70? That just seems like a strange number. But so
a non-exempt employee is paid $9.50 per hour and recorded the following hours: nothing on Sunday, sick on Monday, 10 hours on Tuesday, 8 Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and nothing on Saturday. Company policy allows pay for sick days at 8 hours per day. Under FLSA, calculate the employee's gross weekly pay. Let's see, A is 323, B is 399, C is 408.50, and D is 418.
I don't know if you want us to answer verbally or in chat, so I put mine in chat.
That works. Whatever works best for you guys. I just don't want to go too fast because I want to give you guys time to actually do the calculation. I agree with you, Rebecca. It's B. So the trick to that one is that they had 42 hours in the week, but you don't have to pay overtime because those sick hours are not worked hours. No worries, Katie, I totally get it. What types of wages are excluded when calculating the regular rate? So a production bonus, shift differential, paid time not worked, or premium pay less than 1 1/2 times the base rate. Agree. Paid time not worked. Good job. Does not have to be calculated in when doing the regular rate. Good job. Number 4, when setting up a new payroll system, testing is part of RFP preparation, needs analysis, implementation, or evaluation. It is part of implementation, C. Pre-tax contributions to a cafeteria plan for medical insurance are exempt from which taxes? A, Social Security, Medicare, federal income tax, and FUTA only. B, Social Security, Medicare, and federal income tax. C, Social Security, Medicare, and FUTA only. Or D, federal income tax and FUTA only. Agree. Good job, guys. In a state that is not credit reduction on employees' current pay is $1,300, their year-to-date wages are $5,995. Calculate the FUTA tax the employer must accrue if all taxes are paid timely and in full. Good job, guys. It is A. You'll want to make sure that you make sure you're not hitting that. Well, you're noticing when the limit is happening, and the limit for FUTA is $7,000. So not all of that current $1,300 was taxable. And as long as everything is paid timely, then the FUTA rate is 0.6% or 0.006 as a rate. Non-employee compensation is not reported to the IRS if payments are less than A, $600 in a calendar year, B, $600 in a 12-month period, C, $1,000 in a calendar year, or D, $1,000 in any 12-month period. Good job. It is A, $600 in the calendar year. So we always think about if you're going to do a 1099, you don't have to do a 1099 if it is less than $600 for the whole year. So good job. All of the following payroll duties should be included in the job description of a payroll department employee except A, data entry of payroll input, B, reviewing source documents for proper authorization, C, reconciliation of payroll bank accounts, or D, distribution of payroll related reports. It is C, reconciliation of payroll bank accounts. So the reason that they have that one selected is because of segregation of duties. So the person doing the payroll should not be the person reconciling the bank accounts, so that you make sure you have multiple eyes on the money, basically. So if the payroll person is also reconciling the bank accounts, then they have full control over all of that. So that's why that would not be part of their job. Number 9, taxes advanced by an employer on behalf of employees must be recovered from employees no later than January 1 of the following year, January 31st of the following year, March 31st of the following year, or April 1st of the following year.
I have no idea on this one.
It is April 1st of the following year. All of the following accounts are asset accounts except Which one? Cash, accounts receivable, inventory, or accounts payable? Good job. It is accounts payable. Very good. So these questions, these 10 questions that I just went over, I got actually from the CPP booklet that the APA puts out for you. So they had those 10 questions as example questions of what you'll actually see on the CPP exam. So that's why I thought they were good ones to go over. These are similarly from the FPC booklet instead of the CPP, but very similar. So number one, which of the following forms is submitted by the employee to establish federal income tax withholding? A, Form W-2, B, Form W-3, C, Form W-4, or D, Form W-9? You are correct. It is C, W-4. W-2 is the form that the employee gets at the end of the year with all their earnings on it. W-3 is the reconciliation form for the company that accompanies W-2s. And W-9 is for subcontractors. So that was, in fact, C. Good job. A non-exempt employee works 37 hours per week at a regular monthly salary of $2,000. Under the FLSA, calculate the employee's regular rate of pay. It is B. Good job, Rebecca. Good job, Katie. What's the trick on that one? Anybody willing to share?
Figure out those monthly hours. I'm
Correct.
multiplying 37 by 52 divided by 12.
Very good. Correct. So the employee works 37 hours per week instead of a normal, or what we think of as normal 40-hour work week. So yes, that you had to figure out the hours that $2,000 is spread across. So very, very good.
So why didn't you take the 2,000 monthly salary up to an annual salary and then divide by the? Oh, never
Shannon,
mind,
I
answered
did
my
the
own
same
question.
kind of, I did it the same way. I took the 2,000 times 12 divided by 52 weeks and then divided by 37. That's how I came up with
Absolutely
it. So it's just another way of getting there.
correct. Either way is absolutely valid. You can either take the dollars to an annual and then go back to the hours, or you can take the hours to an annual and go back to the dollars. It doesn't matter which direction you do it. It works the same.
Thank you.
Did you get the same answer?
I didn't finish.
Oh, sorry. Tell me to slow down.
No problem. I'm just slow at the calculation because I have to think about it so much first.
No worries. Okay. The base amount used for calculation of federal income tax is A, gross earnings, B, disposable earnings, C, net income, or D, taxable wages. You ladies got it. D, taxable wages. We use the term gross a lot, which is probably not good because there's really no definition of quote unquote gross wages or gross earnings. So yes, taxes would always be based off of taxable wages. An employee has total year-to-date wages in the amount of $68,000. Calculate the gross up on $2,000. There is no state income tax withholding. What'd you get, man?
I don't know. It was, I must have gone in the wrong direction because it was 1800. I did
Oh,
the 1 minus the 0.6 or 0.062 minus 0.0145, and I multiplied that times 2000.
you would divide instead of multiplying. And they assumed, without really telling you, which was not very nice of them, that the $2,000 they used the gross up the supplemental wage calculation on. So there was also 0.22% in federal income tax withholding.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oops, I'm cheating for you. Which of the following forms is used by an employer to report quarterly wages and federal payroll tax withholdings and deposits? A, the 940, B, the 941, C, the 1096, and D, the W-2. Or D, I should say. B, very good. 941. 940 is annual, and it's for FUTA tax. The 1096 is the reconciliation form that goes with your 1099s. And then obviously the W-2 is the employee's statement of earnings for the year. Number 6, which of the following entries would be posted as a debit? A decrease to an expense account, an increase to a revenue account, an increase to an expense account, or a decrease to an asset account? Again, we're looking for debit. It is C, good job. An increase to an expense account. So for example, wages, if you're paying wages out, that's an expense to the company, and you would debit the expense account to increase it.
So revenue isn't considered an asset? So revenue is hard because there's your revenue isn't really it's part of an asset, but it's not your full asset, if that makes any sense. So just because you have revenue, you also have a bunch of liabilities that go underneath that. So your total revenue is not a complete asset. It's complex.
It's a complex.
Yeah,
But this was kind of a trick question.
I
Because
agree.
if you look at A and C, you know that one of those has to be a debit.
Right.
Because one is increasing expense and the other is decreasing expense.
Right.
That's a great tip, Rebecca. Thank you.
That is a really good tip. Pay attention to your other choices because you're 100% correct, Rebecca. Those two are exactly reversed. So one of them has to be.
It's the best test taking tip I've ever seen.
Well, that's what makes me get through questions like that. Like, wait a second, what would happen if there's the alternative? Oh, there is.
Yeah. The primary purpose of written departmental procedures is to A, provide solutions to employee problems, B, script responses for customer service improvements, C, facilitate the organizational change process, D, document processes for uniform application of policies. You guys got it. Oh, that was all I had for you. Yay. Questions? What other questions can I help with?
I think we just need a lot of practice.
Yeah.
The
Man,
more
and you're
practice, the better.
in September, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you can continue to practice, but let me know if you want to study. I'm happy to study with you.
Thank you. I'm sure I will take you up on that, and I might try to pick Rebecca's brain too.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a great resource and she's taken it so recently.
Katie, not that you're not a wonderful resource.
Whatever, man.
She just took it.
Is it because I put IDK in the answer in the chat?
No, not at all. I'm sure I could learn a tremendous amount from you.
You do not want to talk to me about accounting, just saying.
Felicia will be a great resource too, because she's going to
Yes.
pass hers today. So
She's
Yeah.
in the test as we speak.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, fingers crossed. I know
That
she's got this.
When is she supposed to be done? How many hours does she get?
It's 4 hours you get, and she started at 1 o'clock Eastern, so half hour ago.
So she will be done by 3 o'clock our time or 5 o'clock her time.
Yeah.
So good vibes. Everybody's sending good vibes to Felicia right
Yes.
now.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes.
Perfect. All right, ladies. Well, I know we're all busy. It's been a crazy Friday, so I'm going to jump off unless y'all need something else.
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay, see ya.
Thank you.
Bye.